Hey guys, it's me Suja over here. Welcome back to another video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about the scams that I have faced in India. So yeah, firstly, if you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is called the Suja in Vietnam. I've been living in Vietnam for over 7 years. I was an English teacher before for over 4.5 years, and then I started my online business in digital marketing, and I'm also a full-time YouTuber. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, it takes less than 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, and that way you can support my content. So just having a bit of my late night tea. I'm sorry if it's a bit noisy outside. I'm still in India. I'm kind of wrapping up my stay right now, gearing up to travel internationally, but I still am kind of scratching my head where I need to go. So yeah, I've been out here in India for around, I think I've completed 4 months now. So yeah, so I'm just kind of sharing my personal experience. And I did get an email from one of my subscribers. He kind of sent me a kind of list of topics which I can actually talk about. So this is one of the topics, like have I faced any scams out here in India? So to be honest with you, I kind of I did. I mean, not in a very big way, but there are common. There's a couple of like daily kind of common type. I would say kind of petty scams, which I have experienced. And of course, if you're traveling to India, just as a foreigner, just be mindful of this, right? So yes, there are a lot of scams out here in India. I mean, the big scams. If you see the call center scams, I've seen this on YouTube videos. Like you have a lot of these Indian scam call centers calling up, dialing up numbers in the US, and targeting senior citizens, and who are on welfare, and coming up with those lame ass excuses that your PC got stuck or something, you got to pay money and all that shit. Um, and of course, out here in India, you right now have the FedEx, the FedEx or the DHL scam, where it's like a long process where they target the vulnerables, Indians out here. And it's a sad reality that there are also scammers, Indian scammers, who are in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand, who are working in these shady and these shady scam call centers, targeting Indian citizens back in India, and pretending to be working in law enforcement, wearing fake uniforms, and extorting money, getting fake calls. It sounds like very genuine. So, and surprisingly, I was kind of shocked. Like in Vietnam, also, you do have Indians who are working in these shady call centers, impersonating as Indian cops, targeting Indian citizens back in India. I mean, I do understand in Cambodia it all started from, where, initially it was like, you know, um, putting all these fake job ads to lure foreigners to come to Cambodia and work in these call centers, taking away their passport, torturing them and all that kind of thing. So, anyways, so those are like the big scams, right? And I was kind of shocked that it's there are also Indian scammers in Vietnam who are working in these shady call centers. Anyways, so let me just talk about my personal experience of some petty scams. The first one, which I have kind of realized, is no change. Like I usually shop online using these online apps out here in India because like a lot of Indians. Sorry, I'm a bit stuffed. I had a lot of Indian food. It's still digesting. Um, so yeah, I mean, I do shop online. I use like the online shopping apps and everything. And initially, like for the first 2 months, I had a lot of hard time because like these delivery guys, they would come with the items. Firstly, they are rude right off the bat. Customer service in India really sucks. Anyways, but you know, I used to give the money and I would expect the change, and they would like say, no change, no change. And even the same thing I experienced, when I was taking these tuk-tuks out here in India, especially in my city, we call them as autos. Like in Thailand, you call it as tuk-tuks. They're very different. Here it's auto. It's just like the one which you see in Cambodia. The tuk-tuks in Cambodia are the same out here in India. Um, so, anyways, people they don't have to change, and they tell me, you pay online, use Google Pay and all that. I don't use all Google Pay. Like I said, I have some complication connecting my local ID with Google Pay out here in India, or you have this Paytm or whatever. I usually use cash, but they come up with these excuses. I don't have change. I don't have change, or maybe like I don't have $5 change. I don't have $2 change. So somebody actually, someone actually, I read it on. I think I read it on Quora or I read it on Reddit, but it's just like it was someone actually mentioned that these are the excuses which they will say to not give the change. I mean, they do have the money. They do have the money to give you some change, but they'll make up an excuse and they're like, I don't have change. I don't have change. Has happened to me countless amount of times out here where I'll end up paying the full money and I don't get the change. So they kind of profited, right? So this I would say is like a kind of petty scam, but it usually happens on a daily basis. Like, because in a week I usually purchase things online, like grocery items, like maybe I want to get some peanut butter, bread, cheddar cheese, some knickknacks, and all those kind of snacks. So I usually order online, but I kind of became a bit smart over time. Is that if you're shopping online, make sure, and if you're paying by cash, right? Especially if you're paying by cash, make sure you kind of purchase the order which is coming to the exact amount which you have in cash. So that way, the delivery guys out here in India, they cannot scam you, and you won't be giving that extra money so that they will be kind of profiting. Don't get me wrong, the delivery people working in these companies, they do get the extra tip when you order online. So that is actually included as kind of a tax. So it's called as the delivery charge. So that's the money which the delivery guy gets, right? But on top of it, if I give the full money, and I expect some change, chances are I would say 90% or 95%. The delivery guy out here in India will say, I don't have change. I don't have change. It's happened with me with Blinkit countless amount of times. And of course, I did a bit of Amazon shopping online, but it's just that my dad has an account with Amazon. So he usually, it gets deducted from his account online, right? So, anyways, and of course, the second thing, speaking about the tuk-tuks out here in India, which we call them as auto, right off the bat, like when I first come to India, the first thing when I land at the airport and say like, I want to take a tuk-tuk or something, they'll spin you around. They'll spin you around. They'll charge you a lot of money. So say for example, if the trip is like for $5, right? Um, he will charge you like $10 or could even be higher, right? So be very careful. I mean, most of the times, especially in my city, if I want to take a tuk-tuk out here, and if I'm not taking Uber, which is the ride-sharing app, but if I'm taking tuk-tuks out here, most of the time, they just cook up some price. So say for example, um, if it's going to be $2, right? If I want to go from point A to point B, because India is now very expensive, right? So because the dollar currency definitely is very stronger compared to the Indian money, Indian rupee, right? But anyways, I'm just talking about if as an Indian, right, being in the country, if you're living out here long term, you got to be a bit wary of it, right? So they'll just cook up some price. If it is supposed to be like for $2, he will like say $5 or something like that, right? So it depends, like, cause I am Indian, right? Of course, I'm a non-residential Indian, but my appearance is Indian, so they do charge me higher also. But yes, I've even seen YouTube videos if you're having foreigners, especially Caucasians, the white tourists coming out here in India, definitely the tuk-tuk drivers out here in India instantly will jack up the prices like 10 times higher. And I've seen those kind of YouTube videos, and it really sucks. It saddens me it shows the level, the gravity of the scam levels out here in India. Just these tuk-tuk drivers, they'll be very nice, polite. They'll where are you going? Where are you going? Or something like that, and then they'll spin you around the whole city, and like the ride, which is supposed to cost you like $5 or something, at the end of the day he will charge around 20-30 dollars. So yeah, the tuk-tuk scams, right? I mean, I've even had experience when so that's the reason why I always stick with Uber, the Uber app, or there's another application which is called as Ola, but I primarily stick with Uber, since you don't have Grab apps out here in India, at least in my city. But and the funny part is, if I want to take a tuk-tuk with Uber app, it's kind of reasonable, but say if the tuk-tuk driver is like 2 minutes away, he will automatically cancel my ride. So I know the reason why, maybe because these tuk-tuk drivers, they want to cover long distance, they want to charge higher to the customers. And I think that would be one of the main reasons. And even one of the tuk-tuk drivers here in my city told me, because I remember that day I was trying to find a tuk-tuk to go home. So I was at a place which is not very far from my house, and no tuk-tuk driver wanted to take me. And even if they would, they were charging me a lot of money. So fortunately, a good Samaritan tuk-tuk driver, he picked me up and he told me that, sir, the real reason is that they don't want to cover short distance. They want to do long distance. That's the reason why they want to charge more. Um, and also, even if I take a tuk-tuk with Uber, using the Uber app, and if I go to my destination, if I give the money, they'll first look at the phone, how much is the payment, and then they will say no change. Do Google Pay. I don't use Google Pay out here, which I do regret. And I think I would sort that out on my next trip when I come out here to India. But I really don't use Google Pay. And be also very careful, which has happened to me kind of twice out here, um, in my city, is that if I take the Uber app, and if it's like for $2 or $2.50 if I want to go somewhere else. So I come to my destination, I see on my phone like how much is the fare, right? But once I come to my destination, he opens the phone and and it shows on his phone it's like double the money. It's like $4, $5. I check my phone automatically. It's like $4 or $5 for no reason. So there are a few scamsters, tuk-tuk scamster drivers. I'm not saying all. There are just like I would say 2%. They kind of manipulate the system and they charge you higher. And when I have to then go to the customer support app on Uber, file a complaint, and they know that okay, I've been overpriced, overcharged. So on my next trip, the extra money which I paid gets credited to my Uber account. So you got to be a bit mindful of that when you're taking these ride sharing apps out here in India. So that's all I want to talk about. These are my personal experience of facing scams out here in India. These are like common scams, and of course, um, I do get a few spam calls, which I really don't pick up because it notifies me on my phone. It's a spam call. Sorry, spam call. Yeah, so I don't pick it up. I straight away block it. So if you're going to get some spam calls out here in India, my request is don't pick it up because there are ways where they keep you online, they keep you over the phone, and they can take out all the data. Like maybe your bank password, your OTP details, and whatever. So my advice is never pick up spam calls. And of course, if you're using smartphones, they usually mentions, at least on my phone, I use a OnePlus, so it just notifies me spam call. I don't pick it up. I block it up right away. Or maybe you have these. Sometimes you may get a call like, "Oh, you got this. You want a lottery. You got the jackpot or whatever. Send me your details, and you got to pay some extra money or something." So my advice: stay off it. There are a lot of scams out here in India. So be very careful. Be very wary, and especially when you're taking tuk-tuks out here in India. If you're a first timer, I recommend, if you're a first time tourist coming out here to India, I recommend installing the Uber app, and just use Uber. Try to use as much as Uber as possible for taking the tuk-tuk rides. Um, you know, don't just go up to a tuk-tuk guy and he may look at you and charge you a lot of money. So this is my personal experience. I mean, I would love to hear from you. Like, have you been scammed out here in India? What are the common scams you have faced out here in India? Because that'll give me a better insight. Because of course I'm an Indian, so I may have not experienced that level of scam. If you are a foreigner, so I would love to hear from you. So you can let it down all in the comment section below. If you like watching this video, make sure to like this video and all the good stuff. If you found this video to be informational, you can always support my content. Option one, you can buy me a coffee. The link is down in the description below. And option two, it's winter time. New Year is coming, so you can grab a Sujoin Vietnam hoodie. I got some great collections, so you can go and check out my Sujoin Vietnam shop. You can pick up a hoodie or two or some t-shirts for your loved ones, and that way you can support my content. So with that being said, this was me, Sujoy. Have a great evening. Peace out.